It's funny how the most complicated problems we face as adults often have really simple solutions. Solutions we probably learned as kids on the playground. Well, today we're going to explore that exact idea by taking the simple rules of childhood games and applying them to the very grown-up world of investing.
Sounds a little weird, right? But what if I told you that the basic rules of hide and seek actually hold the secret to avoiding some of the biggest, most common investing mistakes? Let's dive in and see how these childhood lessons can help protect your portfolio.
Okay, so take a look at this. It's kind of wild when you see it laid out so clearly. On the left, you've got all this complex, intimidating financial jargon. And on the right, just simple, common-sense wisdom from the playground. Turns out, chasing a hot stock tip is basically the same as following your friend into a terrible hiding spot. You both get caught. We're going to break down just how powerful these simple rules can be.
First things first, rule number 1, you've got to know your map. I mean, in any game, you have to know where you are and where you're trying to go. And when it comes to investing, what that really means is having your own strategy, your own map, and not letting yourself get pulled off course by what everyone else is doing.
Oh man, this is one of the biggest traps out there. Your friend hits it big, makes 50% on some risky stock, while your boring index fund is chugging along at a steady 10%. And just like that, your smart, sensible strategy feels, well, kind of dumb. You start thinking, hey, maybe I should just do what they're doing. But that's exactly where the trouble starts, because their map wasn't made for your journey.
So to even start building your own map, you have to understand the absolute basics of direction. In Hindi, it's called Char Dishayan, the 4 cardinal directions. It's something we all learn as kids: east, west, north, south. It's about getting your bearings before you even take a single step.
And this is where it all clicks together. The moment you start investing by comparing your results to someone else's, you've lost your own sense of direction, your disha. Every single person's financial situation, their goals, their tolerance for risk, it's all different. Following their map is pretty much the fastest way to get completely lost.
And this is a perfect example. Not diversifying your portfolio is exactly like telling all your friends to hide in the same closet. It feels safe and easy until someone sneezes. All it takes is one piece of bad news, like, say, a major disruption in the AI space, and that single sneeze can wipe out a huge chunk of value, just like we saw happen to Indian IT stocks. When one gets found, everybody gets caught.
All right, so that brings us right to rule number 2. Don't get caught. In every game, you learn to spot the obvious traps. And in the world of investing, believe me, those traps often disguise themselves as incredible opportunities.
This is such a classic trap, and it's so easy to fall into. Think about a company like Yes Bank. The stock started falling from around 400 rupees. When it hit 200, people thought, wow, what a bargain. Then it hit 100 and they called it value buying and bought even more. But it just kept falling, all the way down to single digits. They got caught because they saw a trap and called it a discount.
And this is the lesson you have to burn into your brain. A plunging stock price isn't always the market offering you a gift. More often than not, it's a giant flashing red light, a warning that there's something seriously wrong with the business itself.
And hey, this brings us right back to our favorite childhood game, Chup and Chupai, or as we all know it, hide and seek. You learn really fast in that game that some hiding spots are brilliant and others, well, they're just obvious traps that get you found in about 10 seconds.
Honestly, it doesn't get any simpler than this. Trying to catch that falling stock is the grown-up version of hiding behind a skinny little tree. The odds are completely stacked against you, and when you're found, you're out. It is a losing move.
Just look at that number for a second. A drop of 83%. That's what happened to Paytm stock from its peak. Now, the lesson here isn't that Paytm was a bad company. The lesson is that this is what happens when you pay way, way too much, even for a good one. And that really drives home the core principle here. You can buy the best company in the world, but if you buy it at the wrong price, it can still be a terrible investment. The price you pay is what sets you up for your future returns. Overpaying is just another way of getting caught.
Okay, on to our final rule. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. It's all about endurance and discipline. It's about staying in the game. You simply can't win if you're sitting on the sidelines.
You know how everyone's obsessed with timing the market? Buying at the perfect bottom, selling at the absolute top. Well, in reality, most people just end up waiting on the sidelines. They wait for the market to fall a bit more, then they wait for a better entry point, and before you know it, the opportunity is gone. The real cost isn't bad timing. It's no timing. It's being out of the game entirely. Now, the flip side of staying in the market is knowing when to get out of a bad investment. People get so emotionally attached to a stock. Just think of companies like Nokia or Kodak. People held on for dear life because of how great they used to be, ignoring the fact that the business was collapsing. A stock doesn't care about your feelings. It's like you're still hiding, but the game ended hours ago and everyone else has gone home.
And this is where doing nothing becomes a really dangerous move. So many people have this set-it-and-forget-it mindset. But over time, one of your winning stocks can grow so big that it completely dominates your portfolio. And without even noticing, your risk level has shot through the roof. Long-term investing isn't invest and ignore, it's invest and review. You have to keep playing the game.
So, after all this, what's the big lesson we take away from our time back on the playground? It's that the really important game, the game of building real wealth, actually follows the same simple, timeless rules we learned as kids. And here it is, all boiled down. 1. Know your own map. That means have a personal strategy and diversify. 2. Don't get caught. Learn to see a warning, not just a bargain. And 3. Play until the whistle. Stay in the game, stay disciplined, and always review your moves. These simple ideas cut right through all the noise. At the end of the day, investing isn't about getting rich quick. Just think about all those fast money stories, like the recent silver rally, where pure greed drove people to pile in at the very top, only to get crushed. Those stories almost never end well. Real, lasting wealth is built slowly, patiently, and with control.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to really think about. When it comes to your own money, are you following these simple, powerful rules from the playground? Or are you getting caught up in all the complicated, emotional mistakes that so many grown-ups make? Something to think about, right?